Hey, Jesse, good. How are you? Jesse Good's with us. First person in the live. How are you? Can you hear me all right? Nicola, what's going on? Hey, Joe, how are you? Jesse, Nicola, Joe, Ups. Can y'all hear me all right? Hippie. I know all of you guys have hit that like button, and I'm only showing one like on that end. That is weird because I know all you guys have. What's up, Derek? Gravity Cheeseburger. How the fuck are you? Rockin' steady. What's up, Troy? How are you this evening? RH. I can't believe it is Saturday already. This week has flown by. Kyle Santiago. I know I pronounced your last name wrong. I did it purposely. What's up, Kyle? Kyle Santiago. Alan Howell's in the house with us. Joe, time flying. Isn't that like what Matthew McConaughey said in freaking Dazed and Confused? I just get older, but they say the same age. What's going on, Eunice? How are you? Jim, how are you? Victoria. I almost called you Vitoria, but I realized it was Victoria. Dis, how are you? Hardith. I'm glad everyone's doing well. What's up, Neck? How are you? Rockin' steady. Got to start the weekend off with the freaking nightmares. It's getting a little hot. Ugh. Doing well. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you, 59th. I'm glad they enjoy the channel. What's up, Ginger? How are you? Sean, how's it going? Snowing. Dang. We got 39 in light rain. Upstate New York, we're blessed with spring already. Georgianne, how are you? Hi, Isabel. Go to bed. What's up, Dina? Sonia, how are you? Counter Cult Dick Meadows. What's going on? How are you? That is a very interesting name. Angelisa, how are you? I'm glad you're here with us on this live stream. Welcome. I hear you, 59th. I was tired at like freaking 6 o'clock this afternoon. Happy birthday, Dean Ferguson. I love you too, baby girl. I hope you have a great night, Dean. What's going on, Jody? How are you? There's the man, the myth, the legend, the saga continues. Caden Zero, the only person I know that is still walking around and not in the back of a white van on a checklist. Bye, bud. Hey, San, how are you? I have a folder. I have this is for Victoria. I have a folder state by state. I have 50 folders of 50 encounters, whether it be Dogman, Bigfoot, cryptid, paranormal. I have all states worldwide folders. So yes, I've got a couple coming out of Massachusetts, and not just the older ones from like the Cape Cod, dunes stalker creature, but some other different ones as well. Hey, Melissa, how are you? I'm doing well, San. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Ugh. What's up, Dark Bullet 32? How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Spirit level. Nothing new from North Dakota. Nothing new from North Dakota. Yeah, I'll have to do another Massachusetts one. Maybe soon. I got to figure things out. I got to go through all my folders and all of my paperwork. I bought a new filing cabinet a couple weeks back, and I just put it in the middle of the living room. My daughter's like, why is this thing sitting in the middle of our living room? And I'm like, I got to go through all my paperwork and organize it again. I have so many different encounters and stuff. Tuco Ramirez, how are you? Tuco. MJ Bates, how are you? You left a little early last week, MJ. Are you all right? Were you upset or something? You popped right out, popped in and popped out. What's up, K-Dog? Jessica, I look forward to hearing it. I know I've had some. That's exactly right, Tuco. Exactly right. Don't talk. Just breathe. Keep both eyes open. I don't know. That'd be a pretty interesting chupacabra, though. A toy-sized chupacabra. Hey, George, how are you? Everybody's week was good this week. Everybody had a good week. How'd y'all like? Simmer down out there. $20. It's $20, Scott Suga. How'd y'all like the trip up north? Aloha, Simone. How are you? Yeah, back hippie girl, back in the 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was a large, dark creature that stalked the dunes of Cape Cod around Truro, Sandwich area. I don't believe it went down towards P-Town, mostly in the middle of the Cape. Rockin' steady, I'm so sorry your week sucked. Hey, Crypto Keeper, how are you? Tyler Marshall's in the house with us. Did I miss Gigi? There's Gigi. How are you, Gigi? What's up, Tyler? Couple different. I got a lot of stuff out of Ontario. Yeah. What's up, Hunter? Oh, thank you, Counter. Appreciate that. Chris, what's going on? How are you this evening? I will pray for your Aunt Irene. I definitely will. I'll keep her in my prayers. I'm doing well, Chris. Every time you go up, I get worried. Dude, there was some when I was at that one rock that was flat where I set my camera. And I was sitting there and I was talking to you guys. Um, I looked up into the woods, and I saw this like thing pop out like that and look at me behind a tree. And you know, I'm going to share an encounter with you guys tonight. Not anything that's on paper, but it's an encounter that I heard years ago that popped into my head when I saw whatever that was pop out and look at me. Because it was real weird. I think the gift in rock was definitely calling me, Rock and Steady. I think it was calling me. I did, I don't know if you guys remember, I did do Tuco, I'd love to hear your Mississippi encounter. Hey Sky, how are you? What the hell was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, so anyway. Oh, Craig, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. Thank you. Member for 4 months. You just renewed, right? No, good evening. Craig, really quick, you sent me 2 CDs, correct? Someone with your last name or similar last name sent me 2 CDs, and I forgot to thank them. No, okay. Then it was someone with a similar last name as you. So, anyway, we'll start the night off with the experience that popped into my head when I was up there. And I instantly, when I saw it, I had to look twice. And if you watch the video, you'll see it. I went like that and I kind of cocked my head because I thought it might have been my mind playing tricks or pareidolia. So I was just like, what the hell is that? But there's an encounter that I heard. And it was the one that popped into my head at that time. And my psyche just said, get the hell out of there. But I didn't. Hey, Kyle, how are you? So this took place about 15 years ago in a little farming community in Iowa. And it was it was told to me by the son of the grandson actually told me the experience, but it's through his dad and his grandfather's eyes. So further back now, he told me it about 10 years ago, somewhere around there. Even before I had my channel, we were just talking. I had met him just along the way. So the father and son, the father was probably 13, maybe 14, and very poor. And they were renting a kind of like a ranch or ranch hand home from a large farm. So, 1, 2 bedrooms, a living room, kitchen, just a very small, almost like a trailer kind of. Counter, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So almost like a trailer, and they were very poor, but the dad taught him how to be a man, like you got to support your family no matter what. You work hard, yeah, I'm only making X amount of money and I'm busting my ass for these farmers, but we are, you have a roof over your head, you have clothes on, and they would go and the the granddad or dad. So I'm going to tell it as the dad and son, but it's technically a granddad and a dad, because the grandson is who told me it. So they would go out together and hunt deer, for meat to feed, the family for a couple of weeks. Occasionally, the farmer would let them slaughter, like a calf or some goat, whatever, just anything to feed their family. And in return, they did a lot of the work on this farm. So one night they were walking the fence line, making sure all the fence was up, and they're just out in the woods. The son has a 22. The dad has a shotgun. The dad had actually been, the granddad or dad was actually in Vietnam, so he had seen combat at a young age. Infantry, your basic infantry, where they all saw combat. He wasn't special forces; he was just a grunt. But he knew how to shoot, and he knew, how to kill. And he was not very afraid of much. He was older; he had lived that life. So they're walking, and they see this kind of pile of deer, like dead, and they're like, "What the hell?" And it's freaking the kid out, because he realizes very quickly that this was not a hunt. This was something did this for fun, because there'd be a head over here, a leg there, back legs here, and just a lot of blood, and a lot of carnage. And the dad goes over and he looks and he's like, "What the hell?" And he sees this kind of blood trail, and they hear this kind of real strange combination of a shriek growl far off in the distance. And the dad looks at the son and says, "Probably feral dog. Let's get going and check it out. I want to, see what's going on." "What's up, Ringo? How are you? Frank, how are you? Sharon?" So they get into the woods more, and they're tracking this blood trail, and it must have either had blood left on it or it had dragged this carcass. Well, they keep walking, and probably 10 minutes into their walk, they notice deer come like running at them. And they're like, "What the hell is going on?" And they see wildlife just leaving the area that they are heading towards. And even though it's nighttime, they are seeing animals that do not move around or are not normally out at night moving towards them. And that was one of the freakiest parts of this experience, he said, because I'm like, there are usually not anything coming towards people, especially, coyote, deer. And he said that they could hear this very strange kind of sounds, like a mixture of, almost like a mixture of all of the animals in the forest all at once. And they keep walking, and there's this old kind of dude from Texas. How are you? There's this old kind of shitty house that is dilapidated, but it still has like partial roof, partial walls, and they can hear this growling, and they see a drag mark. There's the blood is lessening and lessening as they get to the house, and they'd actually had to drive out, teenagers that partied out there and stuff like that at one point, And the dad's like, listen, I really think this is a feral dog, probably with rabies. So what we're going to do is you are going to get right behind me. And when I step into the shockwave's a great, actually, I was just playing with my shockwave a little while ago. I was actually comparing my Caltech to the length of my shockwave. So what you're going to do is I'm going to go in, and while it's eating whatever, this other deer or whatever, I'm going to shoot it. You stay behind me and at an angle, so if it does turn and it jumps on me, you can shoot this and get me. Larry Lindman, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. Larry, I apologize for not getting back to you. Thank you for calling me last Sunday. I apologize. I got so caught up with everything. I really do appreciate it. Hunter 11014. I don't know. No, I'm not doing call-ins. I never said I was. So they get to the cabin, and what they see is this emaciated man looking thing. There's not much light. They've got those dull 1980s flashlights that don't illuminate a lot. And the dad sees kind of like it's a man kind of sitting crouched, but it's almost sitting like a monkey would. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, the dad clears his throat because in good conscience, he's like, I can't shoot a human. And it turns and looks at him, and it happened so quick that the son didn't have time to register what it was. But so the dad clears his throat like that. And by the time he had cleared his throat, this thing was on his dad. And it was slashing at the dad, at his torso, at his neck, everywhere, just slashing. He's got his 22 and he's shooting point blank. Bop, bop, bop. And he hits it. Hunter, send me an email. I'd love to hear it, my friend. So he hits it. Boom, boom, boom. Because he's just shot at point blank. Yes, it's a 22, but point blank range, it's going to penetrate. Next thing you know, he grabs his dad and kind of throws him over his back and just starts running. And as he's running through the woods, he can hear tree branches breaking and, growls. And he gets to the opposite side of the forest, heading towards the farmer's house, because their house where they live is like on this side. The farmer's house is over here. And he gets to the tree line and he kind of falls, and he hears people come up to him, and he's in the farmer's backyard. Bunch of guys are out there, and they got a fire. There's probably 4 guys out there. And the farmer's older, like his dad in his 50s. And the farmer looks at the kid and says, "What the hell do you have?" And he had dropped his dad, not realizing that his dad had been dead the whole time he's fucking running through the woods with him. And the farmer looks and realizes, and they look towards the woods, and this thing starts to come out of the wood line, but slowly. The farmer grabs the kid, and they all start running toward the house. They get in the house, they lock the doors. They can, the kid can register that he's hearing guns getting cocked, this and that. A guy hands the kid a rifle. They look out the window, and they can see this thing is now come from the woods to the fire. And it moved very very similar to like a gorilla would. Not like a human at all, but it's motion. And all of a sudden, they see it in the thing and crash. There's the window breaks, and all the guys point at whatever is, because they think this thing just came through the window. It's a farmer's dog. And so then they just put a table on the window and they're ready. The farmer's like, call 911, call somebody, call the cops, get the fucking cops out here. They hear the noise, this racket in the garage, and the garage is attached to the house. And one of the guys says to everyone, the doors were open in the garage. It's in the garage. And so all of a sudden, they hear the racket and this loud crashing, and it goes quiet. It goes dead quiet. And they hear something in the rafters of the garage, and then they hear some movement in the upper part of the house. So the farmer runs up. There's a door at the top of the stairs, and they can hear it like moving through. They slam the door shut. 4 guys pushing this door shut. And as they shut it, a hand comes out of the door. So the hand's trapped. And it looks very human-like, but it's bigger than a human. It's got long claws. One of the guys comes up to it and shoots it in the wrist, cutting the hand off. Boom, door shut. And 4 guys are holding it. Larger, farmer tough. And they shoot the top of the door, thinking they're going to kill this thing. Mind you, the hand of this creature is sitting right next to them. 20 minutes go by. The kid is still in shock at the bottom of the stairs. The cops are there. The cops tell everyone that it was a bear, that's a bear paw. A bear had gone through the garage and gone into the house somehow. And a bear is what killed the kid's dad. He had an aunt that lived a couple towns over. So he ended up moving in with his aunt. And then he went into the military. And he never wanted to go back there ever again. So after he had done his time in the military, he ended up going back home, and he wanted some answers. So we went to talk to the farmer, and come to find out, the farmer, about a year after he left for service, comes up missing. And the story behind that was, he owed money for gambling and shit like that. He probably, took off, whatever, which makes no sense, because why is he going to leave, 50, 60, 70, 100 acres, whatever he had, to nothing. So then he ends up asking questions to a few of the guys that were there that night. And he says, well, we have that hand. We have the hand, right? And that was not a bear's paw. And the cops, once again, they said it was a deformed bear paw that looked very much like a hand. Come to find out that on the way to the police station, the patrol officer that had the bear paw had crashed his car and was fatally injured. The hand was never recovered and never found. So he just never went back to that town ever. And that's his experience that he vividly recalls. So when I'm up in the Adirondacks that day and I see this thing peek out behind a tree and look at me, and Pups and a few of you guys have saw it, That's the story that came into my head. I'm like, holy fuck, man. I'm like, what is that? Because it wasn't big. It wasn't a Dogman. It wasn't it wasn't a Bigfoot. It was, and it wasn't pale looking either, like you'd think a crawler would be. Exactly, Nicola. Nothing was found. Nothing was found except this hand. And then, Tuco, send me an email. I'd like to hear that. Some samurai chatter going on. Interesting. Hey, Renee, how are you? I don't know, Sand. It could have been a devil monkey. But he did say it was emaciated. What I saw was not emaciated. Like what I saw was not pale, but for some reason, the way it moved, just that experience that I heard long ago popped in my head. And I'm like, what the? I don't know. But the way the guy explained it, no, it didn't sound like a devil monkey. It didn't have hair. Hardith, yeah, I did an upload. What day was it? A couple days ago when I was back up. I went back up into the Adirondacks, and there was something up there, and a bunch of people that saw the video did see it. Linda, I can't go with other people because if something does happen, that'll be on me, and I just can't do that. That thing is from Nightmare Hall. More than likely, Sean. More than likely. I truly believe that the government did create some really fucked up shit in there. Andy Davis, I think I have. So, but I did get, is your mug from the merch store? Yeah. No, I don't have a mug. I don't even have one of my own mugs. You were talking, Andy Davis was talking about the evil mirror. I think I've heard of one. There's one in like Merle's Plantation, I believe, if I'm thinking of the same thing. But I want to go up to when I go back up to the Adirondacks, a person emailed me and then said, hey, next time you go, you've been there enough, you know there is something there. Just sit for a little bit and see what you hear and what you can catch. And I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. So I think next time I go, what I'll do is I'll just prop myself up and find a good location to sit down and bring, something with me to read for you guys or whatever. Want to say hi to the buddy real quick? Oh, come here. Before he takes off, let him say hi to everybody. Hi, buddy. There's your buddy. Say hi, everybody. Kyle, I'll buy one of my mugs real quick. I'll buy a mug this week for you, all right? So I have one. I think it's a little too warm in here for him. New Spielberg movie. What new Spielberg movie is coming out? Go on, bud. New Spielberg movie. What's the new Spielberg movie? They watched? Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Devil monkeys remind me of the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, most likely. I hope not. I really hope not. Hey, IE Native, how are you? Jordy, what's going on? Firehorse, how are you? Sorry I didn't see you guys there when I was talking. I apologize. I need a life too. Yeah, I heard that too, dude from Texas. Do you have a favorite shotgun in your collection? My Caltech. The KS7. Shockwave was until I got the KS7. It's just a better gun in general, I think. Same size. I just like the bullpup of it. What's going on, Nick? How are you? Red Cardinal 3, what's going on? Nico, how are you? I hope I say your name right. Nico. I know it's Nico. I hope. No, it's just a KS7 with a Olight on there. Tyler, what did I miss? My almost 67-year-old mother said she could not identify it, and it looked almost like it was skinned. Okay, I did say it right. Good stuff. The KS12 that's the double barrel, or not double barreled, but the double chambered one or whatever, the double tubed one. Is that the KS12? I know it's the KS7. I thought it was like the KS14 or something like that. Caltech KS shotgun. Caltech KS. KS7, and then the KSG. KSG is the 14 round. Yeah, KSG. It's not the KS12. KSG, my friend. Hey, Southern Charmer, how are you? Yeah, the KSG is heavy as fuck. It's got 2 tubes. You got more rounds, but you're carrying around almost 2-3 more pounds at least. It's a heavy gun. And I'm shooting the defense or defenders out of it. So it's a 1-ounce slug followed by 3 double-aught buck in one round. So I've got 7 of those ready to go. Yeah, it's a heavy gun. I was gonna get it instead of getting the KS7, but then I held the KS7 and I'm like, all right, if I have an issue and I can't take down something with 7 rounds as it's running at me and I'm close to it, maybe I deserve to be eaten. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think it's like Winchester Defender is the round, and it's like a 1-ounce buck with 3 double-aught bucks, or 1-ounce slug with 3 double-aught bucks behind it. Hey, Stephen Knight, how are you this evening? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Oh yeah, in England, yeah, slugs are illegal. In the UK, that's right. Oh, really quick, if anyone's worried about Jane tonight, Jane has strep throat. That's why she's not here, if anyone is wondering. Mossberg's a great gun. Mossberg's a great gun. I think the only gun manufacturer I'm not a fan of is High Point. That's the only. I mean, they're a tool and they do their job. You know, I just don't trust High Point. I know you do, Andy. I know you're a High Point kind of guy. I can't believe I just did that. I just put a Zen in. I just put a Zen in, and I fucking just hit my jewel. What an idiot. Yeah, High Points jam. They tend to jam. I have a Stevenson 12 gauge, and I love that. That's a cheap shotgun, and I love it. Like, I've never had an issue with my Stevenson. Great gun. Oh, Frank Morris, how are you tonight? I didn't see you there, buddy. Andy. Yeah, I'd love to hear those, Jessica. What's up, Cleaver? Ricardo, how are you? Okay, here we go. One evening during the summer of 2019, I went outside on my porch to smoke a cigarette. It was still light outside. I live near Rochester, Minnesota. There's a small hill directly across the street from my house, and I noticed two kids, a young boy and a young girl, walking up the hill. They stopped and stared back at me, but I got the feeling about them. They were wearing a dark blue vinyl windbreakers with hoods, and as I looked closer, it almost seemed like their eyes were just dark black. They started to walk down the hill and come across the street, standing directly in front of me. I was cordial and introduced myself to them. They continued to advance towards me. I was getting scared, so I quickly went back into the house. I asked my wife if she heard me talking to the kids. She didn't hear anything, so I put it out of my mind. The evening was quiet, and my wife went to bed at around 11 p.m. After several minutes of lying in bed, I started to feel strange. I looked toward the window. We have a one-floor ranch-style home, and I saw the girl standing outside of the window. I freaked out and went to make sure the doors were bolted. When I got to the kitchen door, I could see the young boy standing on the back porch. Jersey Nightcat, thank you so much. Appreciate the love. Standing on the back porch. I ran back to the bedroom and grabbed my .45 ACP. I just assumed that they were attempting to break in. By this time, I was extremely scared. I went and picked up the telephone and dialed 911. But the next time I remember, I was waking up in bed the next morning at 6 a.m. My wife was awake and looking at me. Where'd you go last night? I told her I didn't go anywhere. She said that she heard the back door close at around midnight and that she went to see what was going on and she couldn't find me. I told her what happened and she thought I was hiding something from her. I still don't know what happened. I've read about lost time and alien abduction, but I always believed that was bunk. I still don't believe it. Were these black-eyed kids or aliens? By the way, I no longer smoke cigarettes. I just don't have the urge anymore. Why? I don't know. I smoked for almost 30 years. get into a Reptilian. If you guys want to see some good guns, Caden Zero has a collection that is just immense. I love Caden's collection. I love Caden in general. Caden's a good guy. Donna Harmon, how are you? But you know, one thing I've noticed is Caden in his shorts, he never gives me a shout out ever. Caden always gives these other people shout outs, but never Jeff. Never Jeff. What's up, Melody? How are you? I'm only kidding, Caden. Okay, here we go. Hi, my boyfriend experienced something very unusual, and I'm reaching out to see if anyone has had anything similar happen. This occurred in Northwest North Carolina, 2022. He and his partner at the time were sleeping in bed. They were in the bedroom that had French doors that opened to the backyard. The house is on a large piece of property with a stream that comes straight out of the mountain from the aquifer. He awoke randomly to see two red eyes pass by the window of the French doors at about 7 to 8 feet off the ground. The door opened as a very intense vibration started, and he sat up and screamed, and he couldn't hear himself yelling. He could see his cat at the edge of the bed hissing. His partner didn't stir. The vibration caused him to fall back to sleep and pass out. He awoke face down on the bed with his head turned towards the edge of the mattress. He was unable to move. A figure rose and was completely out of focus a few inches from his face. He states that its motion was so unnatural. He could see his surroundings, but he couldn't focus on the creature. He explains it as if the creature was out of focus in a photograph. He couldn't focus his eyes. Used his peripheral vision, and he was able to see the creature clearly. He states that it had greenish brown coloring with scales and a worn face, bright red eyes that glowed. When he saw the creature and was able to really decipher what he was looking at, it opened its very large mouth and gave him almost a toothy smile. He says he felt its energy, that it was amused at him for figuring out how to see it. The vibration began again as he watched the creature sink back out of view below the edge of the mattress before passing out again. He awoke several hours later, and his partner had no idea what occurred. He said the entire time he felt no emotion, no fear, no anger, nothing. He says he knows something violent happened to him, and he thinks that they wanted to take him but didn't. He had rows of red dots across his back and stated that it looked like he had laid on a bed of nails. He assumes this type of humanoid creature came from the underground and travels/lives in the cave systems around his home. We know there's got to be some sort of opening in the land where the aquifer exits and the water flows down into his property. This is his dad's property, and it's about 10 acres. We now live across the street, and I make sure my doors are locked out of paranoia. The correlation between missing people around cave systems is unsettling, and I wonder if this has anything to do with it. I wonder if what I saw that day up in the Adirondacks was almost like a reptilian-like creature. Hippie girl, I do have one out of Tennessee that's weed related, actually. I don't know if you guys remember it. I'll have to find it. Dogman could live in an abandoned subway. Oh, absolutely, Sandhoff. Absolutely. I think there's... Thank you, Caden. But on your channel, my friend, on your channel, give me the love, Caden. Give me the love. I think that quite possibly a Dogman could. Nick Bray, what's going on? Dogman could live in subways or in the subway tunnels, especially the old abandoned ones. But I honestly think that there's something far more darker, um, and much more evil that live in there. I really honestly believe that Chud was a disclosure that the government made. You know, hey, we are creating these creatures. They're living below you guys, and you know, they will fuck you up if you go down in the tunnels. I think Cthulhu would be much too big to live in the tunnels of New York City. Have you guys seen? Holy shit! I have got some. Okay, so have you guys seen The Man in the Moon? The video of The Man in the Moon? So supposedly, uh, about 10, 15 people that I've seen have captured this face, not on the moon, but by the moon. And a person reached out to me. His name's Drew. Reached out to me, sent me a few pictures, and he's gonna share some info with me tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to him about it and show you guys the pictures this week. Definitely not pareidolia. Definitely not pareidolia. This is when you see the pictures that I have from this guy this week. This I was like, because I'd seen the videos and I tried to figure out. I'm like, these have got to be fake somehow, you know, because like the moon is here and this figure's head is like right here, and then I saw a few more people posting videos very similar to what this guy had caught, not what this guy Drew had caught. And then this guy Drew texts me or emails me, excuse me, and I open it and I look at the pictures and I'm like, my God, I'm like, that's not good. What's up, Two Way? How are you? Hey, Jill Baker, how are you this evening, Jill? I think we made it to the moon. I don't think in the 60s we did. I think that shit's fucked up. We have, I think Japan just hit there and stuff like that. Hey, Gideon, how are you tonight? Who's going to bed? Randy's heading out. Dean's heading out. What's up, Fringe from the Lunatic? Any thoughts on Hollow Earth? Redneck Rebel. I don't think it's like what Godzilla and Monarch like portrayed on the movies. I think there's stuff like that, but I think there's caverns in systems under there, and there quite possibly could be a civilization that we don't know of. I'm not going to be so narrow-minded to think that no, there isn't, because we're discovering so much. Nick Bray, the time traveler stuff. If it's on TikTok, I think it's a bunch of horse shit. That's just my view. There's some MJ Bates. I upload a new video every day. There's a new video every morning. I say this every day. There's a brand new upload first thing in the morning, and then I re-upload videos for other people to see throughout the day. Oh, on Steph. When Steph is feeling better from his cancer, He's fighting his cancer terribly. And he's winning, hopefully. You know, I hope he stays healthy. We're gonna get going on it though. He wants to come back and share some stuff. I love having stuff out on here. What's up, Brian? How are you? Yeah. I mean, you know, people that are like, you know, there are no other life forms out of our universe and shit like that. I agree with you, Nico. It's ignorance. It is ignorance, you know. There's something greater than us that can travel. Obviously, there's something greater than us. I mean, there was a creation, but there's other species that are far, you know, outdo us by, you know, a zillion times over. I think with the Yonder Dryas incident, you know, who's to say that population of people that lived on the earth before we did weren't better and more equipped than us. Redneck Rebel, Victor is no longer with us. Victor, probably 99.9% has passed away. You know, I mean, like the Anunnaki and the Sumerians, they tell it. The Sumerians talk about a dog-headed race of aliens that came to the earth. So who's to say that's not where Dogman came from? I just saw Cat Stevens did an interview with Joe Rogan, and I'm not a big fan of Joe Rogan lately, because he's just too idiotic for me. You know, he's like he meets all these great people, and he just talks about fucking fighting and but he has amazing guests, and you have to really sit and listen to his guests. But Cat Williams, his interview blew me away. Like, he knows some shit, and I didn't think he did. I thought he was just like, you know, a comedian who was just a little bit out there, but Cat knows his shit a little bit. I really think that. Yeah, Rogan just pisses me off because he just doesn't, you know, he just doesn't ask the questions. He's always talking about, like, you know, he had Dr. Phil on one day, and they're talking about the border and all, you know, Dr. Phil's talking about human trafficking, and Joe Rogan brings up, yeah, but if those kids knew Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like, dude, is that all your head thinks about? You did, Sandhoff. You did. You really did. Nicola, he has good people on, but he doesn't. Yeah, okay. He doesn't have good interviewing skills. He can get the best guests on, but damn, dude, like, yeah, he might be too afraid. He might be. Dude, judo's where it's at. BJJ, they just sit on their butt and they're like, I'm just teasing. Yeah, Ice Cube. But Cat has got it. Cat's really on point. What's up, Sean? Oh yeah, I mean, I wrestled through high school. And my youngest daughter took Brazilian jiu-jitsu for a couple of years. And I used to watch her, you know, train in this, you know, dojo with all these meatheads. And I'm just like, dude, these guys are weak. These guys, like, you know, like, I'll put you motherfuckers in the grapes and spread you. What you gonna do that? What's your guys' opinion on the how does Dogman run? bipedally or quadruped usually, and tilted over from what I hear. What do you guys think about the Sean Strickland comment to the Navy SEALs? How disgusting is that? Is anyone... Krav Maga that is an amazing freaking form of defense. Yes. So Sean Strickland is making his stupid videos, being the typical meathead that he is, and says, I'm getting sick of Navy SEALs thinking they're badass and thinking they're so tough. They couldn't train with me. I'd kick their ass. Literally says it like that. And I'm like, dude, a Navy SEAL. So then there's a Navy SEAL called Frogman that called him out. And he says, I am going to challenge you to a street fight. I will bite your ears off. I will remove your fingers. I will hurt you. I was like, get out. Your husband practices Krav Maga? That is awesome. That is awesome. That is like pretty much the most underrated form of self-defense, I think. Frogman meet Dogman? Depends if the Navy SEAL is a super soldier. You saw it, Caden? What'd you think of it, Caden? Pretty silly. Pretty silly. What's up, Big John? How are you? I made a black belt in macrame. Frogman versus Lot Lizard. Lot Lizard wins every time. Every time. It spits its juice out at him, and people are done. Is it time? $20. It's $20. It was time. Anyone can, Caden, you hit the nail on the head right there. Anyone can beat anyone. You know that. Who spits the juice? Lizard, the Lot Lizard spits the juice. GG with the wings. You know that shit, Nicola. All right, check this out. I got a South Dakota encounter that has our favorite thing in them. A military man named JD went outside to have a cigarette. He lives in the hills surrounding Deadwood, South Carolina, or South Dakota, South Carolina. I'll start that over. A military man named JD went outside to have a cigarette. He lives in the hills surrounding Deadwood, South Dakota. He spots two kids walking up the hill. They spot him and looked at JD, which spooked him. They were wearing dark hoodies and looked pretty strange. They turned and started to walk towards him. They're staring at JD, and as they approach, JD can plainly... Randall Kennedy, thank you so much. Thank you for the love, my friend. JD could plainly see that their eyes were jet black. Wait a second. I just read this. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That was the one where he woke up. I didn't put it in my garbage bin. This incident occurred in 2019 while still living in Nashville, Tennessee. My school had let out and I was staying at a friend's house, which between friends and me, I'd drop off my stuff and wander the neighborhood late at night because I couldn't sleep. Now, don't get me wrong. I had plenty of strange things happen to me on my night walks, from homeless offering me a duck to being followed by a car full of drunk guys. But this one was different. One night, I saw two figures come out of the woods. They looked similar, small and young, younger than me, and I was instantly curious. I followed the kids, staying quiet, when suddenly the little girl, she seemed to be younger than the boy, stood in the middle of the road. Of course, I bolt out and tackle her as a car is coming. The thing nearly missed both of us. When I looked down at the little girl, she was more annoyed than happy or grateful. What got my attention were her jet black eyes staring back up at me. It was like staring into a void. I couldn't look away. As soon as I looked into them, I felt a rush of fear so strong that it overwhelmed me. I still don't know how long that lasted or if anything happened, but the next thing I know, the boy was ripping me off of this little girl with a surprising strength. By now, I'm completely freaked out. I couldn't bring myself to look at his eyes. Doing what I felt best, I literally slipped his grip and took off running. I could hear them running after me, yelling for me to wait, to stop. And I don't know why, but I almost did. I ended up sprinting through backyards until I couldn't hear them before going to my friend's house. She's the one who told me about black-eyed kids, and now I know I'm not crazy. I know what really happened. What's up, Michelle? How are you? Yeah, that's a good idea, John. I've often wondered if black-eyed kids are a product of genetic creations. Like they do resemble a gray. They also resemble, if you think about certain experiences that people have had with Men in Black. A lot of people have said, hey, these Men in Black have black eyes. I don't know. They could be demons as well. But I heard an interesting thing the other day. I was actually reading some Gnostic information, and they were talking about how aliens quite possibly could be demonic. And I was like, ooh, quite possibly that could be true. 265 people in the house with me tonight, but only 124 likes. Oh, shit. Come on, guys, hit that like button. Yeah, Joe, happy birthday. Yeah, the sheriff of Newport. Yeah, he's been replaced. He's been replaced for about a year and a half now. He was replaced, actually, he resigned, I think, and then another CJ Ball took over, which is the deputy that I spoke to. Yeah, he sucked. He was just one of the worst law enforcement officers ever. Sheriff Tutuola, or he wore a tutu. He was the sheriff of Cott County, Tennessee, and he wore the tutu from the sheriff that was in charge of the Amber Miller Tony Aarons case. He didn't talk enough, is what dude from Texas. He didn't talk enough. He didn't do anything. No, not a Texas sheriff, RH. He was Tennessee. And I say he wore a tutu because in a Facebook post he did, he was wearing his law enforcement uniform with a pink tutu holding an AR-15. Tyler, thank you. I'm glad that you're here with us, my friend. I really am. I was wondering if any chance to ask Victor, Elizabeth Snow. Victor is no longer with us. I every upload that I put out is an older upload with Victor. He is passed. He's 99.9% passed away. What's up, Tim Schroeder? Lori Kelly. I wore a pink tank top that said $20 is $20, so it doesn't take too big of balls to do. Definitely J. Edgar Hoover, whoever said that. That was 59th. Good one. Vicky Parker, have a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Vicky Parker. You know what, Rockin' Steady? We're doing shitty too. Preseason games we're doing shitty in preseason right now. I'm not too happy with that. I had scouted an area the day before and hung my old man climbing stand on a tree for the following morning's hunt. The only tree I could use was a small oak with a main fork that was about 12 feet off the ground and covered in poison oak. That means I could only climb up to that fork and not my usual 20 to 25 feet in the air. I'm not allergic to poison oak, so that wasn't going to bother me. I arrived at 4:45 or a little earlier, parked, got dressed. I've learned that to be a successful hunter, you have to be scent free. I dressed in my tree leafy suit and Lacrosse rubber boots, sprayed down some scent killer, doused my boots with some scent, and walked to my stand. The moon was full, and I could see with the use of my Streamlight green light pen. With the morning dew, I made no noise getting to the stand, and without scaring the game off with a large flashlight. I made it to my stand and found the top portion was twisted around to the back of the tree, and the bottom was moved to the base of the tree. Why did someone do this and not steal my tree stand, I thought. I was up in the tree and had my bow on my lap with the arrow pointed away from me while resting on my stand's gun rest. I pulled my earth scent wafers out and attached them to the outside of my backpack. I was facing south with two big oak trees at around 25 yards away. The clouds were moving fast and I could see the moon. I could somewhat see in the dark. It was very still, and I had everything camouflaged except my mossy broadhead. On the end of my arrow, it was around 5:30 a.m. when I heard something walking behind me. I turned slowly to see if I could see it. It was big, black, and at first I thought it was a couple of hog. They were too big to be hog, and I wondered why cows would be in the loose. So it's walking quadruped. I was wanting them to hurry up and leave so they wouldn't scare the deer. Then something brushed against my leg. I didn't hear anything climb up the tree, so I kept still. I was looking forward and I saw this big black hand reach up and grab my broadhead. The hand was shiny, black, with fingers huge. The palms were also black and shiny, very similar to that of a gorilla. When it grabbed my broadhead, the razor blades must have cut it, and it yelled like a bull. It was louder than a car horn, and it was at my feet. It literally scared the crap out of me, literally, and I started yelling back. Whatever it was dropped down to all fours and ran back, breaking trees, running down everything in its path. I sat there for a good 15 minutes until daylight had come, and I left. I believe that I scared whatever it was, and whatever it was scared me. Dude, so he shit his pants. Can you imagine? Thanks, Counter Call. Appreciate that. Have a good night, my friend. Have a good night. Send me an email, will you? So that was interesting because if you think about it, he said, I'm sitting up in my tree stand, right? And he said, I look back and I thought it was a hog, but then I realized it was far too big. So it looked like a black cow, which what the government term is black cow for Bigfoot. So then he's sitting there and he's like, what the hell? I want them to go. I want my deer to come. And all of a sudden, this thing's now standing bipedally underneath him and it touches him. What is your opinion of what would make a good sheriff? Honorable? There aren't. I don't know. I honestly don't know what would make a good police officer, a good person. You know, someone that isn't afraid to call out the shit. You know, someone that's fair, someone that is decent. Good night, Victoria. Thank you for joining us. I mean, I think if someone's going to be in law enforcement, they should be fair. They should have a decent temperament and uphold the Constitution. That's, I mean, you know, you have those one sheriffs that are out in, you know, out west that are like, you know, when anti 2A shit is passed and they're like, we're not doing this. This is against the Constitution. I think that's a good sheriff. Other than that, I don't think with military experience, I don't think they'd need military experience. I just think, you know, military experience would be good. But I think more or less you'd have to be just fair in general. Just a good person, not cocky, and uphold the Constitution. I think if any law official was a good law enforcement official, they would uphold the Constitution. They would live by that Constitution. Because that is what, oh yeah, I know 59th. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying military isn't. I'm just saying it wouldn't, I don't think it would matter, you know. The Constitution would be the best thing to live by, to be an enforcement officer. Yeah, exactly. Andy Davis, you hit the nail on the head. Someone that's not afraid of the politics, you know? So, like, let's say Joe Dirt that lives at the end of a dead end in a trailer punched his wife, and Thad fucking Regal that lives in $1 million mansion punched his wife. They're both going to jail, regardless of who they are, what their financial situations are, what their standings are in the city, you know. $4,000. How are you? Hey Denise, how are you? What's going on? Is there some sort of fight? Who's fighting? I don't know. Who's she mad at? Our justice system is replaced with legal. De facto corporate closing the covenant. I didn't say anything to her. Did I say anything to her? What's up, Dana? How are you? No, there's, Sanhoff would have to answer that. Sanhoff lives in the city. I don't know. I don't think there's anything. I know that the governor has not made any kind of whatever statement about any truckers. She's not gonna mess with the truckers at all. Raheem Soto, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't see you there, buddy. I'd love to hear your experience. Definitely. I am ballless. Why am I ballless? What did I do? I don't even know what I did. Does anyone know what happened? I don't know what happened. That I was ballless? I don't even, that's weird. She's always been here and been nice. Yeah, I've always liked Denise. I don't know what's going on. What's going on, Bonnie? How are you? Thank you for coming to the channel. My thoughts on Mothman. Obviously something is there. I've been researching and reading about it for like 30 years. So yeah, there's something definitely there. I don't know what it is though, with what it could be. Probably some sort of I don't know. I know that it's not just in Virginia or the Appalachia area. I think more or less it is in the all around the country. All around the country. Let me get an encounter for us real quick. Okay, Dogman, you guys pick real quick. Dogman, Bigfoot, Black Eyed Kids. Randall Kennedy, thank you so much, my friend. Black-eyed kids, Dogman. Hang on a second. Rita, how are you? Dogman, Dogman, Dogman. What's going on, Dave? How are you? All right, Dogman. We'll do Dogman, and then we'll do Black-eyed kids. Okay, this one's actually a longer one. That's pretty good. In March of 2021, I woke up in the middle of the night and went downstairs to check on my Irish setter. It was dark in the living room when I got down there. Every light on the house was off except for the electric night lights all around the perimeter of the downstairs and upstairs. So you can easily see things while walking around in the dark. My house is kind of small and next to a few large local trailer parks. To my surprise, when I got downstairs, my dog was awake in its crate and looking at a large 9 foot tall hunched over dog man. The terrifying thing was towering up to the ceiling and was so tall that it was hunched over and could not fit in the living room by my pet's crate. I'm 6'2" and skinny, but even I had to tilt my neck upwards to look at it. My dog was awake, staring straight up at this thing. I never keep my dog in the crate, but sometimes my family snatches him from me and puts him in there. Anyway, this creature had strange feet, and it only seemed to be standing on its tippy toes. It was not flat-footed like people are. It was impossible for a person to stand in this way, which made me shudder. The thing had very little fur on its body, but really only had a giant mane of hair from its head, neck, and upper back downward. The hair was super long as well, but the rest of its body lacked hair. This is why I mentioned mole rats. The arms were outstretched to its sides extremely far as well, because obviously had no idea what it was like to be in a house. It must have had to feel like the walls in the house were too small for its arms to move around. The arms were far too long for it to be a person in an outfit. It was obviously downstairs for a while, making noise and trying to eat my pet. This explains why I woke up out of nowhere. What was the scariest part about this creature, and they put exclamations around Dogman because they don't know if it was a Dogman. It was standing there practically frozen in time, looking at me with its ears pointed straight up. It was processing my location and was slowly moving toward me. At first, when I saw it, it was stunned and didn't want to move. But then I got closer to it. It started to move slowly toward me. I was panicking hardcore. Its face was the nastiest, most gnarly thing I ever seen. Huge, elongated snout. When it turned its head suddenly, it looked like something with nasty rabies or mange. That tells me it must have been underground or struggling or starving. It seemed to have its teeth were grossly sharp. I ran as fast as possible, bumping into the walls over and over. I was yelling at the top of my lungs in terror. I was falling in my socks too, while trying to climb up the stairs to wake up my family. My dog was just watching and listening to everything at this point. When I got up to my mom, she was awake, screaming, "Call the police," while hiding her in a room. I booked back downstairs with my sword back to the living room, and the living room was now empty. Then I realized it could have been in any room in my small house, such as the kitchen, bathroom, or basement. So I booked out the front door in the night, knowing that my mom was safe with her husband, my stepdad, barricaded in their room. I informed them in time that something was downstairs. I figured with quick thinking that all of us yelling probably scared this thing out of the house, as you would do when encountering a bear or a wolf in the woods. I booked out of the front door and walked about 10 miles in the night with bare necessities I could grab at the time. I was terrified. I only had my blades. I'm a 26-year-old felon and I'm not allowed to carry firearms. I walked away like this because I didn't want to find the thing unexpectedly in my house in a random room that I didn't check, such as the basement or bathroom. I was just happy to be gone, alive, while the cops checked everywhere for this creature. I've been in cuffs a bunch of times too, and I don't trust cops. Anyway, unless they are just with my mom and my stepdad. I got lucky after all. I was more familiar with the house than this creature was. Anyway, the best part for last. When I got back home, the large glass window, which was approximately 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide, was completely shattered. The thing obviously had a direct line of sight from our backyard into the kitchen to the living room, directly where my dog was sleeping. And my family thought it was me that broke the window. Turns out that this creature tore through the house from this glass window. I had to yell at my family for about a year until my mom and my brother admitted that they were wrong and that this thing obviously existed. We did find tracks in my backyard, but they led to the woods and then disappeared suddenly. So why did he run away? Does that make sense? What's up, Steve? Richard, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe he ran away because he was a felon and thought like the cops thought he would, he had done it or something like that. Yeah, the dog was okay. Yeah, but you know what's crazy is like Tuesday, absolutely, Larry. Absolutely. What time? Yeah, guilty until proven innocent. Absolutely right. That you know what's crazy is he's running down the road and he's got a sword. I mean, yeah, he had a good weapon, but 11 will be good. Yeah. I'll be good at that point. Corey, cool. I'm a felon. That just means you had fun when you were younger. I hear you, Larry. All right, that works. Caden, maybe. You went to Disney World? Disney World? Good for you, Larry. I'm glad that you had fun. Hang on a second. Just texted one of my mods. Okay. Lake Superior, how are you? Brian, Robert is usually, that's who we're missing tonight. We're missing Robert Sharp. He's usually in the chat every live stream. He's not here tonight though. I feel old at 34. I'm going to be 48 this year. I feel old. What's up, Awkward? How are you? Mr. DeVere, how are you? Yeah, we're missing stuff tonight too. You're right. What happened on the farm? Yeah, where is Farmers of Death? Jimmy Baker too? Tyler. Wait until she's 48. Fucking old, man. Your body, you just wake up and you're like, oh God, why am I alive? Oh. No, that's crazy, Jill. No, there is no good guidebook to the aging process. No good guidebook at all to the aging process. Nine years ago, I had an unusual experience, which I can't say was either this or that. My husband and I lived in an apartment at the time. I was asleep in the bedroom, and he was out in the living room, most likely sleeping on the sofa. I was startled awake by a tremendous knocking at our front door. I was upset because it was 2 a.m, thinking that it may have been one of my husband's buddies. I heard my husband get up and answer the door. As he did, something very weird occurred. I felt like I was in a waking dream, losing all consciousness of the time and surroundings. It was difficult to describe, other than I felt like I was in a bubble but still able to move about. When I left the bedroom, I couldn't locate my husband, but 2 people were standing in the living room by the sliding window. One was very tall and lanky, wearing a dark hooded cape. The other was short, maybe about the size of a 5-year-old, dressed in a black one-piece suit that covered its head. And yet I had this unmistakable sense that the smaller one was the person in charge. I was scared since I thought these 2 were up to no good, and I couldn't understand why my husband let them in. At the same time, wondering where he was, I stood still, staring at them and trying to get a better look at their faces. The short one was turned away, and it never showed its face, but the tall one raised its head and stared right back at me. It looked like a young man with swallow skin. Swallow skin? Its eyes were solid black. I remember his face was human-like, but that something was just not right. I know there was more, but I simply need to remember further details. The only thing I can recall is waking up late the next morning, walking into the kitchen and asking my husband if anyone knocked at the door last night. He said, yeah, someone did knock, but when I opened the door, no one was there. He said he looked outside and into the parking lot, and he couldn't figure out how someone could have knocked and gotten away so quickly without being seen. He was sure it wasn't the neighbor. He said he had a sick feeling after it happened. I didn't tell him what happened to me, though we've discussed it since. 2 months later, I discovered I was pregnant. But it was impossible because I was told before we got married that I could not conceive children. The doctor looked at my tests and scans and previous examination and determined that my eggs were not viable. But he again confirmed that I was pregnant. Calculation of the time when I conceived fell within the period of time that these two strange unknown beings were in my house. The pregnancy went well. I gave birth to my healthy daughter, but I have wondered if the encounter had something to do with me being able to conceive a child. Am I paranoid? Yeah, Firehorse. Probably. Have you seen blue wolf dogs? Oh my God, worth a Google. Yes, I have seen. I know what you're talking about, Mr. Verdi. I got to get used to this new camera because I used to be able to like sit and look at the thing, and now it's weird. When young can't wait to get older, when older can't wait to be. I hear you, Awakened. John Sumner, I'm sorry for you, buddy. I'm really sorry for you. Strike a pose. I still can't believe that I got called ballless. Denise, if you're here still, I'm sorry if I offended you or anything. Send me an email so we can talk about it. I'm ballless. $20. It's $20. Jeff, get your $20. It's downstairs in my downstairs studio. Maybe because that's Denise has always been sweet. Denise has always been sweet. I have no. Nico, I'll have it next week. I'll have it next week, my friend. I want to check my email. Maybe she emailed me. I don't know. She's always been a sweetheart. Always. Nope. That guy Drew emailed me though, with the portals and the pictures of the Nicholas. How are you? Maybe it's because I didn't say hi to her because I didn't see her. I don't know. Maybe because I'm always sitting on my nutsack. What, she popped off last week? What do you mean, Gigi? Oh, how was Dune Part 2? Good? Oh, maybe I don't ignore her. It's so hard to see, everybody. Amy, you want Dogman? I tried mailing you, Jeff. Get a hold of me, Jeff. Amy, I don't know how to get a hold of you. Here, Amy, I'm going to put my email in the chat right now, okay? So my email is right under Nico and right above Dude from Texas. Rockin' steady. I love ignoring you. I think she meant to type Dogman, Dean. She meant to type Dogman. I wish I was law enforcement officer. I don't ignore anybody. I freaking try to say hi to everybody. Dude, it's so hard to say hi to everybody. I freaking do a damn good job, I thought. What cryptid do you believe in the most? Because I saw a Dogman, it'd be Dogman. Jeff ignores me sometimes, but he doesn't know that I love being ignored. Fuck you. What's up, Tasha? Thanks, Tyler. Dude, it's hard. I don't use Facebook, Amy. I have a Facebook, but I haven't used Facebook in years. You're going to have to email me. Facebook is monitored by the government. That's why I don't use it. That's why I think it's funny with all these like Facebook cryptid groups and they're posting shit, and Department of Homeland Security is watching it every day. Every day. Thanks, Mark. Mark's the one that sent me the CDs. Mark, you sent me the CDs, right? Amy V, I don't use Facebook, so you're going to have to send me an email. Let me check and see if you did already. Because I haven't been able to get to my emails in a long time lately because of my dad. I'm dealing with a lot of shit. Let me check here. Starred. There's Corey's. There's Joe. No. I got to take a day and just sit down and go through all my emails. Yeah, it's Sam, you shouldn't be, because Department of Homeland Security monitors Facebook like a mother. Even though they monitor everything, like I don't use Facebook, Amy. I apologize. I will not get on Facebook at all. I can't. If you're never noticed, just imagine all the secrets you will learn. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know, Richard. I don't know. I imagine someday. Yeah, Mac. I imagine someday. Really? Thanks, Gigi. No, no, they probably wouldn't, Sam. Not you. Donna Harmon, thank you so much. Amy V, if you have Facebook, you have an email. So if you have Facebook, you have an email. So you can email me. I think you need a Facebook. You need an email to get Facebook. I think. Okay, okay, you did email me. I'll go through them tonight, and I promise I'll find you. Okay. My dad has been in the hospital for 3 months. He's literally dying. So like I have probably 50 emails that I have not answered. Night rides are the best. Night Rider was the best. Okay, I will look through it then, definitely. Thanks, Mac. Yeah, so it's my dad went in. The majority of you guys know my dad went in for an elective surgery on November 20th. A surgery that he had a year and a half ago on his other leg, just so he could walk better. And the doctor, somehow he got an infection while in the hospital. They released him to a rehabilitation center purposely because they didn't want him to have the infection in the hospital. And he just got sicker and sicker and sicker. And now he's just done. Like he's just beat. Thank you, Amy V. I've heard that the name of Jesus. Okay, so this is an interesting subject. The name of Jesus. I wouldn't recommend relying on that, to be honest with you. I mean, it may work, but what's to say that it doesn't? You know what I mean? Um, Prayers, yes, and but firearms as well. Because I've had multiple encounters where it didn't work, and I've had a couple of encounters where it did work. So Mount Hood, yes, actually I did one last week. Thank you, Jessica. You sent me an email, Sherry? Thank you, Nico. Tigger versus Dogman? Tigger. Oh, dude, this is funny. I thought of this. I wish I could have recorded it, but he did it so fast. I did say hi to you, Brian. I said hi to you like, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. So the other day, I'm playing with Tigger. He's running around, right? The idiot stands on his back legs, and he looked like, you ever seen how a monkey moves like that? Well, he did it for a couple and then dropped down. And then he'd get back up, and drop down. What's up, Pine Knot? Oh. Oh, Jessica, I'm sorry. You're in my prayers too. I didn't get your email, Andy. I just said, Andy, I didn't get it. It didn't go to my spam. He's fucking with me. I got Richard just came in though. I was deer hunting on a cold December evening back in 2005 in California. I had walked to my tree stand at around 3 p.m. My stand is about a fourth of a mile from the road, which isn't that far. I climbed up, got settled in for a few hours to see if I could get my first buck of the year. I hadn't seen much action, and it was getting to those last few minutes, like I like to call it, the best time. I noticed the woods went silent, which I knew meant there is a large predator out. I just didn't know what kind of predator was out there. So, off to my right side, probably 100 feet or so, I heard something heavily walking toward me. I was thinking it was probably a big buck. What I saw next gave me nightmares for months. The only way I can describe it is it looked like something off a werewolf movie. I didn't know what to do. I was in shock, like I couldn't move. This animal, or whatever you want to call it, came within 30 yards of me walking on two legs. Now, I had a 308 Magnum rifle with me, but honestly, I was too afraid to move. After it went by me and over the hill, I drew a sigh of relief. Thank God it was gone, or at least I hope it was. After it went by, I thought to myself, what the hell was that? Now, at this time, there was probably 20 to 15 or 15 to 20 minutes left of light, and I didn't know whether or not to get down. About 2 minutes later, I heard more branches moving and something coming from the same place the first one came out of. Then I saw three more of these creatures following the same path. Now, these three creatures were walking on four legs instead of two, but they were still huge. To me, they looked gigantic. If I had to guess, I would say they were about 1 foot taller than a deer would be, and guessing they weighed maybe 350 pounds. That's how large they were. I sat still, so quiet. I didn't think I breathed. I texted my buddy, who was 300 yards away, what I had seen. I don't know if he believed me or not, but I have never returned to that place again. Me and my brother and mom saw it during the one day of my brother's baseball game. Oh, I read that one last week. Okay, so really quick, I just want to share this with you guys. All right. And I think that this is something to really take into consideration, okay? Yes, we have all heard Truth, how are you? Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. So, we have all heard that prayer, or if one of these creatures are approaching us, that the name of Jesus may revoke them, right? I've heard that it does, and I've heard that it doesn't. Okay. And I am not an expert. I have probably thousands of encounters. So we've heard that firearms work and firearms don't. So here's the thing, that first of all, we necessarily do not know what works and what doesn't. 100%. 100%. Like, for someone to say prayer will stop a dogman from attacking you, and you, by bad luck, are in front of a dogman and you say the Lord's Prayer and it doesn't stop, what are you going to do? Or if a firearm doesn't work, what are you going to do? This is what this science is about. It's theory and taking in all of everyone's information and keeping it to use. So that's why I say always, yes, always when you're out in the woods, have a prayer. Have prayer right at the tip of your tongue, ready to go. But always have a firearm with you because you don't know what else is out there. You know, like, okay, here, these crawler things that may be a genetic or government genetic fucking creation. If it's a government genetic creation, prayer most certainly is not going to work on a creature like that. Right? So a firearm will. Just always keep prayer on the tip of your tongue and the trigger at the tip of your finger. They bleed but heal super fast. That's theory, Crispy and Nick Bray. That's all theory. Everything that you guys have heard is theory. Unless you've seen it yourself 100%, you can't say, hey, that's right. I heard it on a channel. I heard this researcher say it. Have you done it? So then it's theory. Unless you have technically seen one, shot one, and it died or didn't, or you said the Lord's Prayer and it ran away, then there's no 100% backing until you have had it at your doorstep, you know? Yeah, definitely. There's no definitive answer at all. And that's what's scary about this, because you don't know, you know. And always have Fort Scott tumble upon impact in your firearm, unless you have a shotgun. Richard Oakley, right there, my friend. I wonder if military grade laser flashlight that shoots flames that act like Star Wars. I think, okay, here, this is what I think a lot is going on too, is that people are hearing a lot of these like fake stories that don't have like an actual person that had the experience. Like, okay, Luke has shared his experiences with us. But then there's these other random channels that will post a story that doesn't have an author, that they just heard, right? Or it's from a park ranger. How many park rangers out there are talking nowadays? You know what I mean? Like the park ranger that emailed me, that was his wife, and then sent the experience and the news clippings to me. People are really now, there's so many creepypasta channels out there that are talking about Dogman and all this other shit that people are getting they're not realizing that there's a lot of fake fucking stories out there that could really hurt people. What's up, Giant Slayer? How are you? Like, I have this video from, oh, you're not late, Giant Slayer. You're here with us, my friend. I have this video that's actually from a sheriff, and she was in a very bad car accident, right? So she's no longer a sheriff, but she emailed me, and not that one, but she talks about how Dogman, is this it? No. Where is it? She talks about how Dogman hang on a second. Let me get this out and I'll play it for you. If I can find it. I'm not even going to look for it. It'll take up too much time. So what she says is like, she goes down, she's like in the Bladenboro region, and she sees them in the woods, just like running along while she's like doing her drives. And they live in these like thickets. Someone had mentioned they go interdimensional. That's a theory. They could, they might not. I think definitely 100% there are creatures that come out of interdimensional creatures or areas, but that are 10 times scarier than Dogmen. Yeah, I don't know where you heard that story, Crispy Bacon. Multiple 50 cal shots to the face before dying. I don't know where you heard that, but I honestly doubt it. What's up, Ohio? Because I've heard that. Oh, the giant of Kandahar. Yeah. Yes, 100%. You were the one that said the interdimensional thing. Midwest Night Watchers, how are you? There's a Russian article. There's an article about a Russian scientist who she was a scientist and she went hunting for Sasquatch to figure out how they camouflaged. And so how they camouflaged and quite possibly changing an interdimensional, using portals. And the Russian army ended up taking over her scientific expedition because the government wanted to figure out how she was doing it. Michelle Moore, bullets, if it bleeds, it dies. No, I had a weird pain. Has anyone had ever had like a weird fucking pain in their chest real quick and then it like stays around for a few minutes and then goes away? It was weird. Dude, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, better not be. Better not be. Can you imagine if I had a heart attack right on fucking camera? Holy shit. That'd be great. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be great. No, I'm on a diet, Nico. I'm on a diet. Definitely not heartburn. Definitely not heartburn. See, I freaking Daniel, how are you? I was waiting for you to pop in. I got your emails too. I was looking at them this week. I don't know. I don't want no trap gas in my heart. Imagine your heart farting. Heart fart. Pine Knot, that happened to you? Damn. Rockin' steady. I'm not a doctor, but I don't play one on TV. I'm not a doctor, but every once in a while when I get lucky, I play that in my room. Once in a while on the gifting rock. Yeah, it was a sharp stabbing pain. It was it felt like someone was stabbing me with a pencil in my heart, like right here. Like right there. No anxiety. Yeah, you know what, Sandhoff, what I'll do is hang on. It was in the news articles. It was very, very popular back in the day. Hang on one second. Creature spotted in Cape Cod. Creature spotted in the dunes of Cape Cod. The Beast of Turo. It was in Turo. Remember I said Turo or sandwich. So here's the news. It's got news articles. And of course I can't fucking blow up on it. The Beast of Turo, Cape Cod. They say it was a panther, but how is a panther going to get to the tip of Cape Cod? Like, if anybody's been to Cape Cod, that is virtually impossible. It is virtually impossible. Okay, so the Beast of Turo was an unidentified animal that made a stir in Cape Cod town between 1981 and 82, described as being a large cat-like creature with J-shaped tail, being about the size of a large Labrador, having killed several pets and pigs before mysteriously vanishing. The creature killed its prey in an unusual method. The bodies were often covered in deep claw marks, which made people doubt the official explanation that they were killed by packs of feral dog. who primarily attack with their jaws. The creature was also known to be very vocal, making scream sounds at night that woke several people up on multiple occasions. The most detailed sighting came from William and Marcia Medeiros of Truro. They were walking on a path through the woods when they saw a large cat-like creature in broad daylight. They watched this animal for 5 minutes before it disappeared in the woods. They said the animal was long, curvy tail. And then people compare it to like the Beast of Bladenborough as well. Destiny Campbell, I didn't say hi to you. I just want to say hi to you so you don't think I'm ignoring you. Lori. Yeah, that's what they said it was. They said it was like a panther. Well, if you think of the Beast of Bladenborough, people described as being panther-like also, but then people also say that it looked like a Dogman, which is weird. What's up, Jacob? Yeah, I did talk about it. I put the video out, Jacob. There's a video of it when I'm up there, and I'm standing there talking about the disappearance of Tom Mezek, and you can literally clearly see something in the tree. Once again, theory, Zach. That's definitely theory. The video is called hang on, I'll tell you what the theory or the video is. Give me 1 second, buddy. It was out it was out 3 days ago. The video is called Park Ranger Shares Attack and Death of a Child, and I'm back up in the Adirondacks 411. True. Thank you very much. Thank you, my friend. Cowboy Five Rings, what's going on, brother? Michelle Moore, cryptozoology is a science based on theory. There is no fact to this science whatsoever. There is no expert. There is no anything. So yeah, there is. That's all there is theory on Dogman. No one has 100% facts. And if anyone says they're an expert, they're a liar. The one person that I would consider to be an expert would be Tim Coonbo Baker. And he doesn't even consider himself an expert. Kiss, great drummer. Peter Criss was the best drummer ever. One of the best drummers ever. Jacob, yes. Yes, but don't feel obligated to it. And that's what I think. That's like I don't get mad very easily. But when I do get mad when it comes to cryptozoology and the paranormal is when people think that, you know, like they like someone, right? Like they like me or they like Dark Waters. and they consider us experts, or they consider someone like, how to hunt guy, Steve, an expert. He's not an expert. He's a researcher. He's a good researcher, but he's not an expert. And what he's doing, just like me, and just like Dark Waters and Politis and everyone else, is they're just sharing theories with you. No one officially is an expert. Eric Carr. Oh, shit, I forgot all about Eric Carr. Joey Jordanson, yup. Thanks, Jacob. Ricardo, I don't know about that story. Maybe. I wasn't there, so maybe it would work. He likes Mexican beer. Fuck you, Andy. Yeah, YouTube takes like 30% of the donations. So when someone does a super chat, like Larry Lindman will hit me with $100 periodically, and YouTube gets $30 of that. I get 70 of it, but I'm using their platform free, so thank you, MJ. Sam, I didn't say anything bad about Steve. I said he was a researcher. I just said he wasn't an expert, just like I'm not either. Yeah, Brian. I don't know what's going on, dude. It fucking hurts. So it's like, okay, so where your pec is, where your pec muscle is, it hurts right under that. It's like right here. Weird. Maybe it is my vape. I'm a newbie to your channel and chat, Dogman. I like your incoming source. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. And welcome to the channel. Yeah, Nico, right here along my rib cage, brother. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever had a pain like that. I see my doctor Tuesday. So MJ Bates, thank you, dearie. Thank you so much. We all do. I'm thinking about quitting vaping. I'll do it in a minute, Daniel. I'm thinking about quitting vaping, but nicotine really does help with your thinking, cognitive levels of thinking. Does it feel like your armpit? No, it's just a sharp pain. Bop. No, I'm on a diet, dude. I literally am fat. So I need to stop kind of drinking a ton of soda and shit. Oh, okay, Sam. I didn't want you to think I was. That's why. Yeah, I'm putting more nicotine in my body. Jason McManus, I wish you well on that, brother. No, but I have my primary doctor is my specialist, because when I was diagnosed with PNH, that's my illness that I have. I didn't, there was nobody around here that would handle it. So I'm going to have him look at it. Vani, how are you? Zach, yeah, I've been doing a lot of water lately. I'm addicted to soda because it keeps me awake, and I literally work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I need that push. You know what I mean? Crispy bacon, I agree with you 100%. These things have been here for time immemorial. Here, you know what? Real quick. Do you guys mind if I So a lot of you guys have been on my lives for a while. There's a lot of new people that haven't heard this. So I'm just going to share a couple pages of this, and I'll get my shofar out in a minute. I'll do the $20 is $20 thing real quick. $20. It's $20. Okay, so this article right here is it's a write-up about a book. And I honestly, if you are into Dogman and you're into cryptids and you want an amazing book that has scientific backing to it, then get this book. It's called Them and Us: How Neanderthal Predation Created Modern Human. Okay? And please listen to this. Every human culture has believed in the existence of other beings, monstrous humanoids, sapient but inhuman. They have gone by different names: Bigfoot, Boogeyman, Bugbear, Cyclops, Giant, Jotun, Ogre, Ani, Troll, Yeti, Dogman, and more. But they are always feared, lurkers in the shadows, threats to the clan, tribe, or hearth. Dungeons and Dragons did not create these monsters, and despite ongoing controversies, they don't represent anything modern. Humanity's legendary heroes have been fighting these monsters since time immemorial. The real question is why? Why does every civilization have similar myths? Why does every culture have legends of monstrous humanoids? And why are they always depicted as fearsome and dangerous? Because the legends are real. Werewolves, Bigfoot, Dogman are real. Okay, and then this is from an archaeologist, anthropologist, and this is how he describes what a Neanderthal looked like. And I honestly believe that he may have found, and he believes it, that what we call werewolf here, which is a human-legged snout, large ears creature, what people call gugwe, but don't know that it's a Micmac term for a Bigfoot. So here, Neanderthals were apex predators. Analysis of isotope of bone collage has shown that Neanderthal diet was 97% meat. They are estimated to have eaten 4.1 pounds of fresh meat a day. Ample evidence exists to show that they hunted woolly mammoth, giant cave bear, woolly rhino, bison, wolves, and even cave lions, the most dangerous and lethal animals on Earth. Neanderthals were cannibals. A number of Neanderthal sites reveal bone that have been smashed and cracked open to extract marrow. While this hypothesis was initially rejected, a recent find in El Sidran in Spain revealed numerous Neanderthal skeletons with unmistakable marks of butchery by cannibals. Neanderthals have more of a robust bone, heavy musculature than Homo sapien, weighing 25% more. They were so heavily muscled that their skeletons had to develop extra thick bones. One of the most characteristic features of Neanderthal is exaggerated massiveness of their trunk and limb bones. All of the preserved bones suggest a strength seldom obtained by modern man. Quoting paleoanthropologist Eric Trinkus, a healthy Neanderthal male could lift an average NFL linebacker over his head, throw him through a goalpost. Neanderthals also evolved extremely thick skull, post-cranial hyperrobustity, that protected them in close quarter confrontation. They had chythesias, which hunched back gave them a distinct profile and gait. Neanderthals' teeth were twice as large as regular animals, including human. According to 2008 anthropologist research, their mouths could open much wider than a human, enabling them to take extremely large bites. Judging by the size of their jaw, they had a tremendous bite force. Neanderthals evolved in the Ice Age and had specific adaptations. This is where they had shorter limbs, large nose, compact torso. Most importantly, they were covered in thick fur. Since no Neanderthal cadaver survives, this point cannot be proven. But Van Drimeny points out that every primate except Homo sapien is covered with fur, and that every cold-adapted mammal during the Ice Age had thick fur, including mammals that are hairless in Africa, such as elephant and rhinoceros. There is no reason to believe Neanderthals were hairless, except for the desire for us to make them look like us. The only way Neanderthal could have survived in the Ice Age without fur is if they made thick protective clothes. Archaeologist Mark White points out. Neanderthal clothing would have needed to be more than a ragged loincloth of popular depiction. Some form of tailoring would have needed to be required, but Neanderthal sites have yielded no evidence of needlecraft. Neanderthal skulls had extremely large eye sockets, suggesting very large eyes. That in turn suggests Neanderthals were nocturnal. However, the large eyes pose a problem, as Ice Age Europe would have presented Neanderthals with blinding sunlight reflecting off the snow. Van Drimeny suggests Neanderthals had vertically aligned slit pupils, which enabled them to use the full diameter of the lens in low light while shutting out bright light by day. Nocturnal primates, such as the rhesus monkey and owl monkey, all have large eyes with vertically aligned slit pupils. Van Drimeny suggests Neanderthals had a tapetum lucidum, like a cat, that made their eyes shine in the dark. And they had a dark sclerilla, like other primates. This is important as well. Neanderthals had a distinct facial prognathism that featured large, broad nose. Van Drimeny argues that this suggests Neanderthal snout, with a dog-like nose designed for scent hunting and useful for nocturnal raids. They did not speak languages, because they had a large nasal cavity, so they were unable to create vowel-like sounds, which was grunts and guttural noises. So the Neanderthal that Van Drimeny describes is thus a terrifying creature. What does this sound like right here? A hunched cannibalistic predator with large glowing eyes, an animalistic snout covered in thick fur, massive muscles, built for close combat, hunting at night, with a brutish and guttural voice, with a huge mouth and large, sharp teeth and powerful jaws. It didn't look like Fred Flintstone. That, my friends, is an auric, bugbear, ogre, werewolf, whatever it is. It's been appearing in our myths and legends for thousands of years and is our greatest enemy. That is proof 100% to me that these fuckers are real. The name of the book is Them and Us. It's written by Danny Van Drimeny, and the book is called Them and Us, How Neanderthal Predation Created Modern Man. It's on Amazon, Gigi. Doyle Thorne, thank you. His name is Danny Van Drimeny. Nico wrote out the title. Them and Us. Just look up Them and Us. The Stairs in the Woods, that is a creepypasta, Lori JC. That's a creepypasta. Straight up creepypasta. The first time it was ever really told was by Corpse Husband, and he clearly states this is a creepypasta. Crispy Bacon, have you ever heard of Morgue Official or any Gnostic text? I'd look into that if I were you. I have it on Kindle too. I bought the hardcover though too, after I waited for a while. I don't think is it an audiobook, Gigi? I don't know if it's an audiobook or not, to be honest with you. Yes, MJ. And Mark, it wasn't dude from Texas that said that. But it's actually a creepypasta. Here. Corpse Husband Stares in the Woods.
Corpse Husband Stares in the Woods.
This is a straight up
before this starts, these entries are
okay. This video will have you terrified, laughing, and crying in between everything. Da 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 da. The stories, if you have stories to possibly get to read on my channel, art, da da da. Creepypasta format. That's what's wrong with creepypastas, is people believe them. What's up, Neck? Eric Holmes, what's up, my friend? Portals are real. The stairs that are seen like on Travel Channel, the brick stairs that like are broken down, have been explained like they've been logically explained there was like a house or a building there. Like you're not going to find like a set of stairs from a brand new house. Hey Lee, how are you? Lee Brown Smith, how are you? Skateboarder. $20 is $20. Skateboarder. I used to love creepypastas. I really did. I loved them. But the more I started doing this, the more I started to hate them because it's so much misinformation. Because, like, the missing 411, that's a real fucking phenomena. And, you know, people listen to creepypastas and then listen to the 411 and compare them when they're totally, one's real, one's not. And, you know, or like Bigfoot maulings, or the people that I've covered that have been attacked. Tony Aarons, Amber Miller, Brenda Hamilton, Corey Godsey, you know, the multiple people. Creepypasta comes from it comes from the term copy and paste. So creepy and paste. Yes, George. Yes. No, Mac Tay. That was at my daughter's boyfriend's house, which is right down the road, the cemetery that's like acreage and acreage, is right down the road from me. Gotta go. Brian Reese, have a good night, my friend. Giant of Kandahar was verified. Absolutely, lunatic. Zachary, the reason why I go up to the Adirondacks is that's where Tom Mezek, which is a missing 411, he disappeared. And I'm obsessed with it. I used to think that cryptids were involved with the 411. I don't think cryptids are involved. Nor do I think UFOs or alien abductions are involved with it. I think it's something much, much deeper. Something because when I go to that location where he disappeared in 2015, they had the FBI. The FBI doesn't come out for reasons that, you know, the FBI will only come out if a tender-aged youth is disappeared or if there were state lines crossed. There was none of it. I think it was for damage control. There's something very bad in that area. What's up, Brian? How are you? MJ, I'm glad you had a good night. Portals, lunatic, I agree. I think portals are involved. And I think that, so Tom Mezek, like I said in the video the other day, he had his gun, a cap. So you get yoked up, your cap's going flying, right? Where'd his gun go? Why didn't he call for walkie? Why didn't he shoot anybody? You know, portal, but whatever came out of it was smart enough to get all of it. Or did he fall into the portal? You know, like those metallic sounds that were mentioned and that I caught. I never thought I'd be able to catch them, but I did, which was like to me, one of my crowning points of research. That has something to do with a portal opening or something. Abducted? Abducted by who? No. I don't think aliens had anything to do with that at all. I think because like where he was, the how the trees are bent, I really honestly think some magnetic. Or what if the portals? Okay, here's a whole another theory. What if when a portal opens, it has some sort of magnetic pull, but not like metal to metal, not like metal to metal, but like what if it absorbs living entities, and that's why those trees are pulled. Yeah, Michelle, I've already done videos on the ley lines like 6 years ago. Yep. 100%. Nothing. Like nothing was left. This guy had nothing. Not even his fucking boots. You know, they with the kid that disappeared in Georgia, the surveyor, you know, he's walking with people, they're 200 feet apart or 200 yards apart, and he disappears. They find his boot a year later. They've never found anything from this guy. Nothing. They squared off 5 miles, a 5-mile grid, and I've shown you guys the tags for this grid, and they walked every inch of it. They had it computerized. There was like 300 people at one point up there walking. Like suction. Yeah, lunatic. Hey, Simon, how are you? Did they do the phone signal triangulator? They did it with computers. So they literally did. Yeah, yeah. Sanhoff. I disagree with that, but hey, Candy Wolf, how are you? So what they did was when they marked off that section of the woods and then they walked every piece of it. Is he the only person that ever went missing from there and never was found? Yes. Yes. Nico, your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, like okay, so those trees where I walk by on Lily Pond Trail, those trees are bent, right? And hey, Mickey Smith, how are you? Those trees are bent, right? But the weird thing is I found that rock structure up there. And I keep catching things moving around up there, like that thing that ran across the trail or the things that smashed through the trees behind me. So there is cryptids up there, but I don't know. And in the videos that I made too, like talking about how in the 50s and 60s in Saranac Lake, only a half an hour away, they had an underground base there for MK Ultra super soldiers. But it's all theory. William Ward, I don't know, honestly. I don't know. No, I haven't. I've never checked for radiation. Montauk Montauk's closer to San Hoff than me. Montauk's about 4 hours south of me. The Oak Ridge, yes. Yes, George. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. That's crazy, Daniel. I don't know about that show. I don't buy anything off of TV shows. You know, like it to me, it's a TV show that it's scripted. Like people used to think Finding Bigfoot was legit. That guy's not allowed in Whitehall, New York anymore. He's not 20 minutes from my house. He's not allowed there. I don't think William, that's what I said. I don't think a portal, he just fell into it. I don't think he just fell in. I think that quite possibly a portal opened and may have sucked him in, or something came out and pulled him in. I don't know. I don't think the odds of him just sitting on a rock in a portal opening up on him happened. Something far worse happened to that man. And he didn't just get lost. He taught survival skills. He was an airborne ranger. He would have realized, oh shit, I'm lost, and sat down. Something really bad happened to that old man, and it's sad. It's sad that people gave up on him. Like someone just recently, speaking of the TV show thing, someone legitimately said that Frog Skin Ranch or whatever was legit. And I'm like, no. Weather, how are you? And then I literally, Frog Ranch.
Dwayne Ollinger.
Mystery of
to Idaho Press. The why and what for it is the work of a father-son duo, Chad and Dwayne Ollinger, Texans who came to own a ranch in Utah for a holistic healing center idea.
First of all, it's on Discovery Channel. And what is it? Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch, scripted. Discovery of the Mystery Blind Ranch is scripted in any way. Here it is. Some viewers are convinced that it is real. Some are convinced that it is fake. They did buy a ranch, hoping to strike it rich. Paranormal activity. While Discovery has found a niche with shows centered around treasure hunting, they made a new niche staged and set up with the Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. Mountain Monsters was the greatest scripted show ever. Mountain Monsters was great. If you didn't like Mountain Monsters, you just didn't. They tried to send drones. See, Cult, Counter Cult freaking called it for me. What was the big chubby guy, Jeff or whatever? The big chubby guy that his ass crack was always hanging out. I fucking loved that. Me and Isabel used to watch that show all the time. Buck. I was sad when it ended. That was such a good show. It was so dumb, but it was good. It was good for entertainment. Like, they're building fucking cages. This is what's going to happen. This cage right here is going to fall on that creature, and we're going to catch it. Buck, get in there and show them how it's done. Buck standing there, cage falls. I can't get out. Yeah, Street Racer guitar was awesome. I like Street Racer. He was a good guy. It was hilarious. It was the greatest. Sheep squatch pissed in my mouth. Or the Black Witch. The Black Witch. The dude's got something in his nose. Like, dude, we're told not to put things in our nose when we're 5. He's like, he's got something in his nose. Dean Ferguson, have a good night, my friend. I did take my EMF and I took my EVP out there before. I've taken my EMF reader and my EVP out to that place. Remember, like, when they're in the woods and the big chubby guy's running and like the witch would be like here and they'd make that weird noise. They'd be like, ah! He's like, ah. No, I didn't. There was nothing that hit with my EVP or EMF. Not even on the rocks, because I thought maybe the rocks were magnetized, and I brought a magnet with me one time. Ginger, have a good night, my friend. Dude, he always fell over and his ass crack was always hanging out. Michelle, when I went to the Conjuring house, I caught a lot of crazy stuff when I went up there and stayed the night there. That was a great time. He pissed himself every time. Boggy Creek scared the shit out of me when I was little. No, Nico, if you use them, like I have an EMF reader, or EMF, I have the EVP, I have an SLS camera, which I actually caught evidence of the crooked neck lady in the Conjuring house. The video's on my channel, you can see it. I have a spirit box. I have literally all the ghost hunting equipment out there. And it works. It doesn't call in anything. You can't compare something. I bet you did at the Conjuring house. Oh yeah, I did. I caught a lot of shit there. You can't compare ghost hunting equipment to a Ouija board. Two different things. The Ouija board is an opening. That is like, I really truly believe that I got sick from that and my cousins died from that, from a Ouija board. They're evil. There's something very, very bad with it. Andy Davis, have a good night, my friend. I don't know what Ghost Tube Vox is. I have the equipment. If it's on the phone, I'm not going to use something that's on the phone. I don't believe that works. Oh, I bet you found stuff down there, Michelle. Zach, I agree with you. I agree 100%. They should not sell Ouija boards. Or if they do, they should only be sold in like select shops, and they shouldn't sell them to children. They should not be sold to children at all. You probably shouldn't have burnt it, Daniel. You probably shouldn't have burnt the Ouija board. Hang on one second. Interesting. Daniel, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I got arrested around the same time I burnt it. I've always heard they're dangerous to burn. Yeah, Bell's here with me. Bell's here. Thanks, Sanhoff, for worrying. No, the same spot. Holy shit. All right, guys. Live stream, 3 hours. I had a blast hanging out with you guys tonight. Thank you for spending Saturday night with me. I do, if you guys want to see, you know what I'll do is I'll figure a way of tomorrow sometime I have a short clip of, if you can't find the Conjuring House video on my channel, it was 2 years ago, but I have a short clip, a 6-minute clip of while I'm downstairs and I catch the crooked neck lady with the SLS camera. I'll figure out a way of putting that up. That way you guys can see it. It was a lot of fun, though. It's about almost a 2-hour video. So, all right, guys. 3 o'clock. I'm going to get some sleep, a couple hours at least. Thank you all. Rich, thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Steve, I had a blast. I hope you guys did. If I missed anybody, if I didn't say hi to anybody, it's not purposely done. I apologize. I can't see everybody. And if I, I fucking love you guys all. You know it. So good night, Simone, Tyler, Lee. Have a good night. Raymond, thank you for joining us. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Sanhoff, have a good night. Gigi, I was waiting for your email. RH, I apologize for ignoring you. The shofar, it's downstairs in my downstairs studio, so I can't grab it right now. Guys, Alan Howell, have a good night. Caden, you have a good night, my friend. Terry. All right, guys, I love you guys. I really do. I really mean that. You guys are like my best friends. I don't have friends in real life. You guys are. So thank you.